What is going on, everybody? This is Malik, and today I'm going to be talking about my 2007 Ford Mustang GT, also known as the 3-valve. And I'm going to be speaking to you guys about what's done to the car, what I plan to do to the car, and just more general information about the car itself. A little bit of story behind this car is that, so I used to have a 07 3-valve, though it was alloy instead of black, and I wrecked that one. So when I wrecked that one had 52,000 miles to the body, to the engine, to everything. This one, when I got it, it had 97,000 miles. And so I transferred the block from that other one into this one, and then I saved the block from this one. And I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. I'm not sure if I want to build it, because this one is SBE, and I don't really know how long it'll last, honestly, because I push this engine every day. And I would lie to y'all if I said that I babied it or I garage kept it, because I don't. So for starters, we'll dive into the engine, since that's what everybody likes to know first. So it is SBE, and it is a stock block, though it is paired with the Edelbrock TVS 2300 supercharger. I was previously having some cooling issues with the car because of the supercharger heat soaking during idle, during cruise, and even during walk. My idle would sit at 218, my cruise would sit at around 220, and then my watt would be 232, and that would make Litto, or 2 Dyno, my tuner, hold back some timing onto the car because of the temperature. So I switched from 50/50 antifreeze over to pure water, distilled water, and water wetter. Now before that, I did want to get a bigger radiator and a bigger heat exchanger, but I heard about the temp changes of water and water wetter. So I figured, you know what, it's cheap, I'll try it out. If there's no difference, I'll get the bigger heat exchanger and bigger radiator. Surprisingly though, I put the water wetter in, I purged the system, and then my idle came down to 184, my cruise came to 187, and then my watt came to 193, nothing higher. So I was really glad with those temps. And then with the antifreeze, my intake air temperatures were 174, and then with the water, they are 132 at watt.
Please do not switch to water or distilled water as coolant or for your supercharger reservoir, especially if you live in cold climates, as this can crack your engine block.
If we come closer, you'll see that I have a Grip Tech pulley that is a 3.375 inch. Now this pulley does generate 10 pounds of boost at 6,000 RPM, 12 pounds at 6,400, and then 13.3 pounds at 6,600 RPM. I've got the intake from Edelbrock to match with the supercharger, and then I do have blue Ford Performance valve covers. On the top I have MSD coil packs, 3VR 12S Brisk Silver Racing spark plugs, and then I have 1000cc fuel injector clinic injectors. And then to pair with those injectors, I do have a Dietzworks 400 LPH pump. Under these blue valve covers, I do have custom LMP cams that I was set to made for this car. I did ask that I wanted chop, like a good amount of chop, but I also wanted the performance. I didn't want lobe. I kind of wanted more choppy than lobe, because honestly I've heard lobey cams and that's just not something that I personally liked. So like kind of like the Mutha Thumpers or anything like that, I was kind of aiming for something more like the Detroit Rockers or the Ford Performance hot rod cams. Now more into the car, I do have a set of BBK short tube headers, and then they're catless. I have a BBK X pipe, and then over the axles I have MagnaFlow axle backs. Behind this motor, or technically in the bell housing, or technically your clutch. No, I'm joking. But so for my clutch, I have a 6-puck clutch, and then my aluminum flywheel. It is the stock TR3650 5-speed manual, stock drive shaft, and then stock everything from the rear. I also do have a little bit of cosmetic stuff, I guess, like the valve covers. I did paint the engine block red when I took it out and then put it back in. I do have solid engine mounts, and I think that's all basically for dress up that I have on this car. Now moving around to the car, I basically have the stock body. On the front headlights though, I have hollow LED headlights that my girlfriend got for me for my birthday. And if I'm not gonna lie to you guys, some of the parts, maybe half of the parts on this car were bought using her military discount. So I do have to thank her for helping me buy these parts, I guess. I got a pretty good discount, especially on the more expensive parts. The discount kind of helps quite a bit. So for the front, I have 4-star F14 style wheels, and then I have yellow calipers that I painted myself, and then all around I have Power Stop Z26 carbon ceramic brakes and brake pads. Now moving on to the rear of the car, this is why majority of people come and talk to me. Don't mind the missing side markers. So a lot of people come to me and say, why do you have such a big tire on the 3-valve? You don't need that big of a tire on the 3-valve. And honestly, in my personal preference, I don't think I do either. So I have the VMS 15 by 10 inch wheels. Then I paired that with Mickey Thompson Street SS 295/65 R15 wheels. Now the reason I say I myself don't need this big of a tire is because during digs, or especially rolls, mainly digs actually, the tire rubs. And it's been getting pretty bad to the point where I'm getting like, I need to downsize the tire before it blows up because it rubs so much. My car has 331 gears instead of the 355s that I thought it had. So because of that, this tire, the rotational mass, makes my car very slow from anything, from digs and rolls. The gears are so long, everything is so long, it puts me out of power band. So I've come to the conclusion that I want to go to 75/50 R15 wheels. A lot of people tell me 275/60 R15, but the only reason I don't want to go 60 R15 is because of the rotational mass. They're 28 compared to the 26, so that 26 will give me less rotational mass, and it'll be a lot better, especially for the 331 gears, and it'll just let me stay in my power band a lot better. I did used to have slicks on this car. I had 28 by 10.5-15 wheels, or tires. And when I put these ones on, because my slicks were running down to the wire, I put these on, I did a pull, and I instantly noticed a difference. And these were sluggish. And even at that time, I didn't even know about rotational mass or anything. I did notice the wheels were a lot larger, but I didn't think anything of it until I got the car dynoed. But when I dynoed this car, I had a bigger pulley and I was only on 91. The car made 433 horsepower to the wheel and then 397 foot-pounds of torque. The dyno guy, I don't really know what they're called, he told me you could probably squeeze out 15 to 30 horsepower from a smaller tire. And I was confused by what he meant by that. So I did more research and I found out about the tire's rotational mass and gearing, and how rotational mass affects the gearing ratio basically. So now we come to the back. This is where I have my body kit from my old car. As you can tell, the black and the alloy difference. Don't mind this missing side markers. I did get 3 different sets from Amazon, the white side markers, and they've all fallen off during racing or high speeds. After all that, I've just decided to get some scent belt ones, and I did more research about how to keep them on, I guess, without flying off, and I heard a little bit of glue or 3M behind the actual light will help keep it sticking on. And then I'll probably put something in between where the wire connects to the harness. That way, in case it does fly off, there's like a glue or tape maybe holding those 2 wires together so it doesn't fully fly out of the car. Now, I know there's not a lot of content around there for 3Vs. 3Vs don't have, there's a big platform of them, but there's just not a big platform around the community making videos or content about these cars. There's a lot of driving POVs or like late to work POVs that I see, but not really many people talking about their 3 valves. And that's where I'm trying to step in. And I'm sorry if these videos are not so good. This is actually my first video, or second. I don't know if I still have my old one posted, but I'm trying to step in and trying to make content about my 3 valve, so that way anyone else that likes 3 valves or has questions about 3 valves, like, it could be asked, and you know, we could all join up. The 3 valve platform I know is hated a lot. Like, the car is slow, the car is unreliable, the car is this, the car is that. These cars can be fast, and I know they can because one's sitting right in front of me that I fairly think that is quick. 13 pounds of boost, 6,600 RPM. What more could you ask for? 5-speed manual. Now, I do on my other platforms sometimes lie about my car not being stock bottom end, but it is. It's stock bottom end. I have nothing done to the internals, and this car is just pushed until it dies out. This car is tuned by 2 Dyno, or some of you know him as Little, and 13.3 pounds of boost. He did tell me that that is pushing the car. A lot of people don't like Little, surprisingly, something that I learned recently, but I think it's just the strategy or way that he does his tuning, but not the actual way he finishes on his tuning, because his work's good. When I dynoed this car on the big pulley setup, the graph was linear. It was great. It did get a little wobbly at the 7,000 RPM range, but I did rev up this car 7,200 RPM with a 3.875 pulley, and I generated only 9 pounds of boost at that RPM. But I was told that that's pushing it as well, but I didn't really care. This car is getting pushed to its limits. I'm not babying it. I'm here to see what this motor can do. Now, I think this is as far as I'm gonna really take it, because I know that any more will definitely take it out. 13 pounds of boost, 6,600 RPM. That's already thinking like you're drawing the line. You're a little bit more and it could go kaboom. And I think this is where I'll draw the line until I think about getting forged internals or something bigger like a 5.0. A common misconception, I don't even know if I said that word right, is the 450 wheel torque. A lot of cars that I know or have seen have topped out that 450. A lot of cars stop there, like that's their deadline, 430 to 450. I can tell you right now, this one is definitely above that. I would say 470 to 520 wheel torque, and I would say maybe around 550 plus horsepower. I haven't really gotten dynoed fully since Lido hasn't told me that we're fully done with this revision. I'm pretty sure we are basically done, but I just want to make sure that we're done on the E85 and the smaller pulley. If you guys have any questions about your 3 valves or anything you want to ask, just ask in the comments. Like, I'll do my best to answer to my best of knowledge. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you one thing when I don't even know it. If I don't know it, I'll just be like, honestly, I do not know. You gotta ask someone else. But from my personal experience, I mean, I can definitely tell you that these engines can do a lot more than what they're said to be capable of. And I've been running this for about a few months now, and it's pulling good. At first I was on 91, but I did the transfer to E85 since on the logs I was 40% pump duty cycle, and I was like, well, I see some leeway for E85, so I told Lido, charge me 50 bucks, did some revisions, and now we're here on E85 and a smaller pulley, running 13 pounds boost at 6,600 RPM. I'm not really sure if I listed everything about this car that I have on this car. One thing that I did also forget is I obviously have a wideband and a boost gauge. But everything about this car, I'm not sure if I listed. I may have, but there's probably a couple things that probably skipped my mind. But if you guys have any questions, just ask. And then if you hear that little whir, I'm not sure if you can hear it. That's my supercharger pump running. So, but thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, just ask. Feel free to ask. Hope you guys have a great night.